We'll open up the February 4th, 2026 meeting and call it to order. Before we move on, I thought we would just take a minute to I'd have a moment of silence, but a moment of maybe just talking about Richard. You know, that I had an opportunity to have a couple hours discussion with him a few weeks ago, and he really enjoyed being on the select board. It was really hard for him to think about not being on it. He felt like he was really doing something good for the town and the town's people, and he served for 12 years, a very dedicated select board member. He will truly be missed. You know, if anyone else had anything else to say, wanted to say anything. I have no news about, arrangements or anything. When we find out, Michelle or I can send them out to you if you're interested. I know he was very active in the church in Hardwick, so not sure what his wishes were. Thank you, Richard. So move on to the adjustments to the agenda. Do we have any? I have quite a few, sorry. I will need to add, approval for the, grant submission to the state, for a grant for the parking lot. I'll go into detail under select board review on some funding. Also approval for me to approve, and it needs to be in the minutes, if the select board approves applying for the Clean Water State Revolving Fund. This will be the third year in a row, but it's something we are required to do to be on the state list for grant funding for the wastewater. It's due Friday.
It's called the wastewater revolving fund.
Clean Water State Revolving Fund, CWSRF. It's the one where we got 125,000 one year and another year. We just need to be on the state list for continued grant funding. And adjustments to the agenda will also need to post a notice of vacancy for a select board. We need to be at least 10 days. It's too late for anyone to vote on. There wasn't a vacancy when the ballots were made. And Richard had resigned as of town meeting anyway. So there wasn't a vacancy, but we will need to put that out. Take applications of interest. Right. If we don't have anything else, I'll take a motion to approve the minutes of January 21st, 2026. Second.
I'll second.
Okay. Discussion. Only thing I noticed on the first page under H, it's a typo. Notice of approved brown stone, it should be brown field. Probably just your computer that filled it in. Anything else? All those in favor? Opposed? Others from the community. You have no,
I have.
your community, yeah?
I would like the select board to send a letter of thanks to Roger Marcoux for putting up the new signs of hidden drives in this town.
Okay. Roger did it, not the.
Well, he asked the state to do it and it's been done.
Is that the new signs that appeared, this summer?
No, just this last week, saying hidden drives. So if you look across from where Claude lived and now next to where Wheeler built his house and before my house, there's signs that say hidden drives. And he's still working on getting the speed limit lowered to 25.
I was thinking about that driving here tonight. I've been meaning to ask. Is that something you would be able to do, Michelle? Send Roger a thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
They said that they were only hidden drive signs.
Yeah, just hidden height. Height signs.
And we don't know how many, maybe.
4.
Okay, thanks. You guys want to stop by and sign it or just have it for the next meeting?
You can, so what I used to do was town clerk, I just sign your name and write for the select board. You can just authorize you to do it on our behalf. Okay, then correspondence, we have a thank you from Mark LaHoulier, thanking us for allowing Lacing Up for Cancer to have their bottle shed. This year they've raised $5,266.25 from bottles put on a transfer station. Upcoming events for VLCT, well, I missed one, but tomorrow's town meeting tune-up. The 9th is advocacy chat and 12th of February is attorney hours. The 19th, intro to the CHIP program, that's Vermont's new housing and infrastructure program. And on the 26th, introduction to case builder.
Might hit the attorney hours, although VLCT already came back with, the. Like, oh, with the IRS, if we want to file for those tax credits. And they already said that they consulted with their lawyer and they recommended that we consult with ours, but I don't know if it's worth hitting up attorney hours. I was just gonna.
You can go on and get off if it's not what you wanted. I've done that before.
Just an hour, I think, of open consultation.
I just attended one that I thought it was gonna be on, job, when you do the job, no, evaluations.
Oh.
But it turned out to be something completely different, nothing I was interested in, so.
Usually 800 people.
We received a pre-application site visit and meeting notice for the Lamoille County Planning Commission. They submitted their regional plan updates. They had site visits. They're gonna visit some of the tier 1B sites. And also then at 1:30, they're gonna hold a hearing. Pass that around.
I noted that since the board voted that down, like to pursue it in the future, that we are not on there. That's why, correct?
Those are the towns that approved. Tier 1B, Stowe,
Or
North Hyde Park, and Morrisville. We have a profit and loss budget from the Wolcott transfer station. Belinda did talk to me. We are exceeding our expenses for the moving container charge, and she's keeping an eye on that. Right now, we're at 119%.
she did mention to me that the account balance still exceeds our expenses.
Right, but we need to figure out how. And we received the fiscal year 2025 impact report for the Council on Aging. Do you, are you going to talk about this, certification of compliance for the town road and bridges, or do we just mention signing it? Simply a report, or?
I basically had it in there, signed my report, I just had it in there for you to sign because it was prepared.
Okay,
But I can talk about, or you can talk about the cover letter that we'll send, or the letter that we'll send.
oh, yeah, this would, the cover letter would go with the highway mileage one, not this one.
Oh, I thought that's what that is.
No, this is just saying that, that the town of Wolcott is going to, adopt the state standards that we adopted June 5th, 2019, the state approved, town road and bridge standards. And that we're continuing to do that. So then we have grants or FEMA or disaster. That is one of the check marks that gives us a higher percentage that the state reimburses us for. So we can have a discussion and just see if. Well, we'll have a discussion. Are we all in agreement or not to continue to adopt those state standards for highway and bridges that we have been year after year?
I would agree to. Yeah, see no reason not to.
Okay. So on a voice vote, we are agreeing to sign off on this. So. All right, select board assistant report.
I had agreed to pay the town report repair Bradley an additional $75 this year. It was budgeted 500. And he had to ask for 600. I said we can't do 600, but I agreed to give him the additional $75, thinking that it's in my authority to grant up to $250. Not to exceed a budget, but I figured we would, for $75, make it up. I was told then that we can't pay him until we get approval to pay him for that amount. For 575.
I'll make a motion that you,
So you need to say where it's coming so Belinda knows.
Yeah, it's coming from the miscellaneous fund.
Of the town report budget.
Is it a miscellaneous fund then?
Yes, I already.
All right.
So she knows where that, so it will just, the total balance in the town report will, in that line item will be lowered, but just so she doesn't take it out of miscellaneous someplace else. I didn't understand your statement about you had authority to pay someone $250 with
We
the.
need a select board approval to up to $250 to make a purchase.
Yeah, but that's the salary.
It's not, it's payment, it's a contract payment.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea to get select board approval just to keep things clean for anything. If that's what the voters voted for, that's what they're anticipating, that's paid.
Okay.
I mean, we always usually agree with you. You make a good case, but then it gets a little,
Especially to exceed a budget item, but I think that.
well, yeah, it is exceeding.
Right, I'm just saying.
That's what I mean. If it exceeds a budget item.
But nobody gets permission. I mean, seriously, we don't do that for anything else. So I'm just trying to find clarification here. So like budgets move around all the time. So I'm just trying to get clarification because you don't want me coming to you with every purchase and we don't have.
But I don't consider this a purchase and so there's a line item in there that the salary for that is 500. So you're going above that.
But y'all approved it I understand. It was just in my rationale of thinking, and I'm just trying to say, moving forward, like, it's just such.
If the printing of the town report went over, that's a purchase. But when we start paying people, people come in and want more money.
Contract.
I think the board, we're in charge of finances. That's one of our main jobs.
So I'm gonna put in the minutes, once we get the vote down, as a discussion that for clarification, anytime a salary is going to exceed. Is this across the board or just for me?
Well, no one can give anyone more salary than the voters allowed. I mean, it's not even our money, it's the voters' vote money.
It's not a salary, it's a contract.
He was contracted for $500. That's what it says.
Okay.
Whatever. Whoever did it. If two of you did it and you each got $250, it's not one, whatever. That whoever did it or multiple people, the total is $500. That's what the voters approved. Now, if you can come to us with a good reason, within reason, finding the money someplace else. I think we've always been really good about it and understanding.
Can I come to you with an email? And expect a response in like 2 days, just across the board?
Yeah, I think for me, and I don't know if this is a discussion for right now, but I think for me, I would like to see us have clarity on. I get this situation. This situation should have approval. It's a contract thing. We went over the line item, should come to us. But it's unrealistic to slow things down to the speed of bureaucracy to have every single purchase or every single overage. So I think for not just your benefit, but any of our authorized purchasers, where is the line? Where do we decide what can be purchased without us?
Well, she already said that you can purchase anything up to 250.
Right.
And she has.
But the gray area is what's a purchase, what's a contract? Like you said, salaries are not set.
It's
Salary
a
went flexible.
it's a contract.
Right. So is that a purchase? Is it a written contract? I mean, was there?
It's just an agreement.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying is I just don't know. And I think that's what you're trying to get at is what line items do people have authority to exercise the purchasing policy?
So does he get a 990 or whatever, not a 990, a W9 or whatever?
I think under
W4?
600, you don't issue any. He does for for his IT contractor work, but for this, I'm not sure if, oh, well, maybe he has.
Well,
Because, yeah, I would pay him for multiple jobs. But for anything under 600, you don't issue a W-9 or whatever, W-4.
1099.
1099, thank you.
So I guess in the past, we've kind of been used to people basically volunteer, it's basically a volunteer job with a little stipend. Is what it, and it's kind of now evolved into something a little more than that, so maybe we need to look at it, you know,
Well, we
before it
approved
goes
it.
up next time, huh?
We approved the budget for 600 for next year.
Yeah, the vote, if the voters will in March.
We proposed budget.
But what I'm saying is, we're beating a dead horse here. We can just discuss it at another time when it's time, whether he wants to be an employee or we want to have a written contract or what.
Then we would need a written contract probably for IT and for numerous other things that we contract out for or hire out, basically. He probably should have contracts for IT because I think he's doing more and more for like the library possibly, and then more for the town. We've increased it to cover the forest and I started a motion by parity to pay an additional $75 to Horseman from the town report miscellaneous fund.
You have a second? Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? So carried.
So the library roof snow guard, this has been a nightmare tracking people down, actually. As you know, last year we had little spikes installed. They failed immediately for the storm. And then I had talked to Jamie Marcia.
Marcia.
And I talked to him in August and he kept saying, yes, he would do it. But then after about 5 months in December, he finally said, Michelle, I don't have time to get to it. So I sought him for an estimate because he was saying he thought it would be about 2,000 to 3,000. And then I pursued, I got a list. So I pursued a man, Carl Beauregard, from early December, December 1st through just probably January 15th. And he kept saying he would come out and come out and come out, and he never did. And so I finally got a hold of Rod Roofing, Mike Richardson, and he came out immediately on January 15th, and then he sent a bid. So to do the library snow guard from the end of the building closest to the parking lot to over the door, which is about 15 feet, I'm sorry. It's gonna be $4,370 installed. That it pretty much exceeds, if you look at the handout I gave you, it just, this is the budget, and this is the budget to date. I mean, this is our like list of projects and then the budget to date, which I realize they don't exactly total, like we're a couple dollars off on my accounting versus Belinda's. And obviously Belinda's is correct. We're already at 10,500 and we have the rest of the year to go. So we don't have enough money. But I just wanted to keep you all informed to see if you wanted me to get it scheduled, and I'm following the purchasing policy for anything under 10,000. We just put it out to bid. We don't put it out to bid. We ask. You can get up to 2 to 3 bids. I've made every attempt to get 3 bids. I could only get 1. Do you want me to continue or try to get another bid from Jamie Marcia for Marcia?
What was the total from Rod again? How far over?
15 feet, it's 4370. But I don't know what you're gonna come in with, Michael, for the rest of the work that you've done.
Oh, for the roof thing? Don't worry about me, that
And the
was,
painting.
the painting you guys already paid for.
Oh,
That
okay.
wasn't part of that. It just hasn't been completed because of the weather.
And also the garage, if they have to get that tank pumped again, I mean, that's not, cheap. If you look at the garage, we've already got almost 1,100. With door repairs and propane valve, whatnot. All of our inspections are pretty much done, and I think I have enough of the filters. I'll still need to get another thing of salt softener, water softener salt, but I know, Linda, you like to leave some money in there.
Well, I'm trying to figure out how to read it. So our year ends June 30th. So we need to maybe pump the gas. What is that, gas tank pumping?
For the tank pumping, that's the water tank that always fills up now, that's underneath.
So that might have to be done between now and June.
Last year, it had to be done several times, and they've already had it done once again,
I thought we did it 3 times in the spring. I thought we had like $900 in pumping.
probably, and they've already had it pumped this fall, and we still can't identify the problem.
Well, just tell me what's left.
Well, we have roughly 4,500 left. So to date, we have spent 10,500, 10,550 roughly. And it's allocated, we've been allocated at 15,000.
So if we do the roof, the snow guards, that'll bring us up to,
14, like 15.
yeah,
But we still have the rest of the year we have to use to reserve for other issues possibly.
I'm assuming that you won't hold that price until after our fiscal year.
He may or may not. I might be able to ask him to, it depends on if the roofing guards go up. And this is, I asked him, and it's, there are no taxes. He understands that we're tax exempt. Again, I can put it out for Jamie and Marcia again. Just not sure. He seems pretty busy, especially in the summer. I bet he's gonna be swamped.
is Rod gonna do it now?
Yeah, we can do it anytime.
Jamie can't do it now?
I mean, won't, I talked to him in
Because he
December.
found probably his afraid.
Having
He broke
installed,
his back.
having installed snow guards in the winter, you don't have enough money to get me to do it in the
Yeah.
winter time. I would wait this summer anyway.
Mike, and he's like, sure, I'll do it anytime. And I'm like, okay. Yeah.
So is this on just one side?
It's just over the door where it's just over the front door, and it goes roughly 15 feet from the end of the depot just up to the end of the door. And he priced out further if we wanted to do further, but I thought we could do it in segments. Because we don't know what we're gonna do with the whole front porch. And that's another thing. I've got a list of what we want to start working on next year as well.
Well, not the front porch, because if, it will be redone in the,
That's why he's doing it from the end of the building just to the end of the door. So I don't know, I didn't have him price. I mean, he priced out, but I did it in segments so that, because we weren't sure if we're gonna keep that whole decking.
Probably be safe to do it when it's summertime, when it actually is, after maybe the next fiscal year.
And I guess I'm risk averse, but I don't like doing anything roofing related in the wintertime. If we could hold it, even if it ended up costing us a couple $100 more to do it later.
I'm just afraid of what issues he'll run into.
Right, if you guys put a screw in and the sheathing is rotten or whatever, I don't know what's under that slate, if it's strapping or.
Scrapping. Those tiles are just hooked on.
We lost a couple tiles when those other guards fell off. We lost like 1.5. So you can see where it is. And so I'd probably have him replace the tile too.
Right.
And I also know that there's no budget in here for this to start the E911 signs. And I kind of hope to keep like 3,000 set aside, but I have to put that out to bid. But I had hoped to start that in the spring.
I can see waiting until, was it July 1st, after July 1st, for that.
I could schedule it with them or whatever, maybe for the whole price. I think my question was, do you want me to put it out to bid? Or we don't technically need to, and I feel like I've contacted 3 people, and it just doesn't seem to be interest. Maybe it's not a big enough project, I don't know.
No, I think they're a little leery of the slate and the age.
The snowbirds on the town hall. Oh, that was long before you.
I had heard somebody here did that. So,
Is it Robert Harris that did them?
Way up top on the roof.
Yeah, but he had a crew.
it wasn't.
My opinion is that, I wouldn't kill myself, but if we can find someone else to give us another bid, it would be nice. It seems pretty high to me, and I don't know if that's because it's winter.
And it's rod roofing,
Oh, yeah.
they're a big outfit. A lot of overhead there.
So we'll wait until summer and I'll put out in the spring bid to get it done. Or I'll contact another contractor. I'll contact Jamie again and this Carl, but he just doesn't seem like.
Shouldn't be a gigantic, should be a quick job for someone in the summertime. In theory, so.
Yeah, it's not gonna be long.
So is the board in agreement with that?
Yeah.
And I can replace those tiles that we lost. Thank you. I created the seasonal mowing, brush hogging, like contract specs and a map for the proposed areas. I just gave you a short version of the map because I wasn't quite sure, Michael, if you can confirm for that road. Is that basically the area you want mowed?
So what has been done in the past for brush hogging,
Sorry.
you have an outline of the entire parcel.
Mhm.
The brush hogging typically stops, it's kind of a line where 3 trees come out.
Yeah, you can see it on the map.
Usually the brush hogging, this used to be 2 different house sites. Typically the brush hogging stops, it's just this side. This old house site here is all grown up.
So just from here, around here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but didn't we undo it now? We got rid of, isn't this the one now that?
Is that where the parking lot is now down?
Here is where the ball field is, and so we want that one, and this one, we're letting grow in.
So the ball field is still, the backstop and everything is still right here. Right here. The parking lot is down here, and I had been mowing a walking path down through this way around the trees and then back up and around, staying out of their mulch, and where all the new plantings are. But when Spalding, is that who was doing it last year? He brush hogged the ball field side again. And given that that's where the floodway is that they cut in, I think that we should keep that knocked down. I would like to see us, if we're going to brush hog it, I would like to see us brush hog the thing, but I'm not sure what exists over here because Conica never went over outside of where the parking lot area is. He didn't go over here and regrade things like he did on the ball field side. I know that there's, some old foundation walls down here that I catch with the mower when I go. I would also like to ask the question because I have been mowing and I've planned to mow the path again this year. If it's all right with the board, and we pull the brush hogging off from the mowing contract. And I'll just brush hog it. I'll do my path mowing and then I'll brush hog it this year. For the next 3 years. It's a 3-year thing. with that.
Yeah, creator.
Yeah, I can sign up to do it for the next 3 years, and if I get hit by falling airplane parts, then you can modify the contract.
That would be lovely. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Then what about Bear Swamp? We had never really made a decision, a frank decision on Bear Swamp. Like, do we want the parking lot?
So I've been talking a lot with Jim Ryan and we'll have to. We'll have to like upgrade the parking area a little bit, but not really a lot. Maybe throw a couple loads of gravel in there or something. I don't know what's around there.
It's not,
It's
I mean.
hard to tell.
It's
I mean, I
hard to-
was there, but you can't look at it now.
Heard notes advance that.
The only thing I would worry about is the stuff going in. Are you gonna clear down the side? On both sides?
I don't want anyone driving in there.
You don't want anyone driving down there?
It's just garbage and drugs, illegal campfires. No.
Then
And I talked to him about Jim, he worked for the state for the water resources or whatever, and he said that to get a permit for a boating dock down further would be horrendous, that they go in right by the bridge
right,
and not even put an access down further to get in.
so they're gonna park alongside the road then?
No, you can drive in and have a little parking area, but then there's a path that goes, you could drive where Ed used to drive down to his cabin.
That's what I'm saying, that's down in there, are you gonna have that mowed?
No, just around the parking area, that first open space there. That's
Right.
what I envisioned.
But you're not gonna worry about the edges going off the road?
There's a walking path that might be worth, but the only thing I would say if we did that was, sounds like, do we want something like some posts with a chain so people can't drive down there past the parking lot? But you can walk around it.
You really don't wanna go past the parking lot, cause you'll sink.
I would, and so we need to. Trying to
It's
work
either
with
that or
Jack.
just signs.
With the Northern Rivers Conservation Trust and stuff of kind of things we want there. I would envision having something like that at some point.
I could see sign and something.
Even
Stop.
maybe a big log across, for heaven's sakes.
Yeah. Or you could go with stone,
Yeah,
like they've done at the,
so the question is, are we gonna mow around that parking area?
it doesn't really grow down in there.
And the parking area hasn't really been established yet because. it's been loaded with gravel.
And that's a long way for someone to go out of their way. Do you think it's gonna add more to it, the cost?
Well, once a year, so brush hogging is once a year.
I can see if Jim will do it.
I say, I feel
You're
like
not putting this out yet, are you?
No, I'm gonna put it out probably mid-March. I think we just.
Okay, so let me talk with Jim and see if he wouldn't do it, if he has the equipment or something.
Have tiny landowners around there with tractors, I would imagine that somebody would.
Try to see if we can do that, cause I think it'd be a pain to get someone to go all the way up there.
What about that Reeves?
Mm-hmm,
He has all sorts of equipment,
Yeah, he
logging and
does.
stuff. You
mm-hmm,
might
yeah,
be talking with either Jim or, I can't think of Reeves' first name,
Walter.
Walter.
And then I think we discussed the other one.
So the town garage is just the berm removal,
Yeah,
and I don't know if you should put that somewhere down further about that. I have it in the mode.
yeah. Mark that off. And then the other one, you were gonna ask I was gonna check Stone Environmental, 60%. For that.
Yeah, the 98% design should be ready in a couple of weeks too.
Okay, I can keep checking, or I can just ask them, I can actually email. Okay. For the MERP grants, we also had, the installation of thermostats, like smart thermostats in this building, so they're free and weather stripping. I asked Tori to confirm that, that we would follow the grants, the grant regulations or rules if we follow our procurement policy, which is to allow the town to use our RFQ maintenance contractor to list, our maintenance contractor list to receive just 2 bids project, because we have 2 contractors on our RFQ list. If it's under $2,000. And she said, yes, that would be fine, as long as it follows our procurement policy, and anything under 10,000, we don't need to put it out to bid, we just have to do 2 bids, and I've already pre-qualified them. So I asked OC Builders and Parity Construction to give me bids. The OC, and this is all inclusive bids to purchase the 3 thermostats, as well as the weather stripping, all the materials and installation. And OC Builders came in at $2,374, so $2,374. Parity Construction came in at $1,850. So I would just like an approval to accept the bid from Parity Construction.
I make the motion that we accept the bid for Parity Construction.
In a second,
A second.
all those in favor? Aye.
And Michael, you're abstaining, right?
Please.
Hearing the other number does make me think makes me wonder if I missed something though. Oh, well.
I don't think so.
Will that be starting up soon?
They can be here as early as a week.
Okay, so FEMA. Favorite topic. Wilson Engineering came in with the design for East Hill Road culverts. He's finished the design, and so I applied for a change in scope for the project 960052, which was for the Mike Green's culvert. Basically, we're calling it Green's culvert on East Hill Road. And we're changing it from an A and B only project to now apply for implementation of the project from hazard mitigation funding. We've already received approval from Chris Brunel as a permit to get into there and do the work. He bid it at $189,000 to really get in there and change the alignment of the culvert. He anticipated hitting ledge, and so it's start to finish $189,000. If FEMA comes back with that in mind, then maybe we can consider implementing that project. If not, Joey said you can do it down and dirty, just get in there, open up the culvert, which is kind of crushed at one end on the inlet end. He said, open it up, clean it out, put in 2 concrete blocks to direct the water into the culvert versus going kind of down the road a little bit. So he said, and Lucian recommended this too. So putting a couple of concrete barrier blocks and just do it down and dirty, and it wouldn't cost us much. Or Dylan can go in and just replace the culvert, upsize maybe a little bit, but then we would have to cover the asphalt and everything. So just keeping you abreast of what's going on with that one. We applied for 3 extension letters for 3 projects that are still undone. We're still awaiting FEMA's review of their mistakes for the work to be completed project, which is 798673. They had mixed up 2 culvert replacements on Marsh Road. They mixed up culvert 4-25 and 5-25. And so it's just causing us problems. Once the mistakes are reviewed and corrected, then we can move on to Army Corps of Engineers to get permitting. We'll likely be able to self-certify. We do have approval from the state, Chris Brunel, to use stone head walls for just the FEMA replacement costs, which does not then include the FEMA hazard mitigation reimbursement. But I did receive confirmation that what they bid on is just so underbid as far as the concrete head walls and wing walls. So I have asked Gravel to give us an estimate on what it would cost to replace a 48-inch culvert with concrete prefab or poured in place head walls and inlet and outlet head and wing walls. Once I get the estimate, then we can better determine which way we're going to proceed, and I'll meet with Michael and Linda again with Dylan, and we can all kind of set a course of action on how we want to, if we want to not go ahead with the FEMA mitigation funds, which would be it's an extra $90,000 from FEMA to go ahead and do this, but I think we would lose money, a significant amount of money going that route. So we'll move forward, but that's just where we stand with those projects. Still don't know where we are with the work that we have already completed. It's passed through FEMA, now it's sitting with somebody else. I mean, it's passed through hazard mitigation and it's still sitting somewhere. Another subject is the select board wants to meet. Oh, never mind. I already did that one. Highway. So I do have good news. Viking says that they have the truck body and the front post. The truck is they're working on installing those on the truck. It should then go out to paint by Thursday or Friday of this week. He has expedited it over all of the other orders. Then it goes back to the shop to finish the work, and then hopefully it will be ready for Charlie Boys to pick it up on 2/18. And then I anticipate we would get it back the week of 2/23. He said that there were no added costs to the original bid done in 24, which was $105,800. Dylan did say that he had asked them to drop something along the lines of $2,000 off of that, some piece. And they are installing a vibrator for the sand. And Kyle said he would do it free of charge, but it's still uncertain to me and to Dylan, because I asked him if they're going to give us that $2,000 back and give us the vibrator for free, or if that's like an exchange. Dylan wasn't quite sure. Anyway, I inquired how much time we would have once we pick the truck up to get the loan. And he said that they'll give us an invoice with the net 30 days, which would give us then time to secure a loan. I did not call on interest rates yet because it's still too far out, because I think they can only secure them for a week or two. Also, Dylan just told me today that there's a nationwide shortage on road salt, and that Cargill is still trying to secure additional shipments. I think that the East Coast, with the entire nation being bombed the last couple of weeks or last month, that salt is flying out the door. So Cargill's trying to secure additional shipments. If necessary, that Dylan might need to order from Portsmouth, but he's really hesitating because you'd have to pay $120 per ton versus the $103 per ton that we're currently paying, which is delivered. Dylan said that right now, he's really sparing the salt and he's using sand on the pavement at the moment, and he's saving the salt for further snow accumulation. So he's got a handle on that. We'll let you know. That's all I have.
The only place that's really scary is when you come off the North Wolcott Road to Route 15. Whether you're gonna slide right out. I put it in my lowest gear.
Well, I didn't know this, but he said that if there's any sort of snow accumulation, you need salt to melt the snow. But then otherwise you can use gravel, which would help slow you down. But I don't know, he can mix salt with the gravel. And we are gonna need probably to have Craftsberry help us get that gravel off. We'll just see how much is there. He hasn't been putting a lot down, but off of our asphalt.
What does that mean?
The asphalt, Craftsberry has a street.
Oh.
Sweeper.
Sweeper. That's down a little bit. Anyway.
Good, thank you. Been busy. Not feeling well. I am here to ask the board's approval to allow the town, no, to allow, well, it will be the town, but for the Wolcott Community Trust to apply for the Department of Library grant for renovations to the schoolhouse, which is due in a couple weeks. I think Nicole said, they're gonna apply for $400. It would be, they're narrowing the scope of work to be for the roof, the exterior siding trim, and MEP. What is that? I don't know what that is. For the schoolhouse, but they're not calling it the schoolhouse. They're calling it the library because it's on the same plot of land. I mean, so I just am asking your permission to apply for that, for continued grant funding for the,
You said 400, but you meant 400,000.
yeah. Approximately. She didn't write it here, but I think that's what she told me. I have not seen the final grant application yet.
Is there any kind of matching?
You know. No, if there was, the trust would pay for it. Just, we need a. Because it's under the town's name, we have to get permission to apply.
And all of this furthers us towards the goal that we talked about,
Mm-hmm,
swapping buildings or whatever the,
mm-hmm.
I'll make a motion to approve the application.
A second,
No second.
and second. Any further discussion? All those in favor? I probably should abstain because I'm signing it. So we have on here approval to sell the 2016 Western Star, the Charlie Boys.
Yes. They came back with $20,000. And that includes the truck, the body, and the wing. It does not include the plow. So, I mean, it's up to the board's pleasure, but I was surprised by that amount, to be honest.
We have Dylan's blessing. Dylan supports that. I'll make the motion that we unload our very faithful old plow truck.
A second,
I'll second.
Do we need any further discussion on this? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. The Lamoille Regional Solid Waste Management District Annual Appointment Representative, I reached out to Phil Wilson, and he is still interested in serving, representing the town. I think he's served on there quite a while. Richard was on before. So I just would need a motion to, Bill Wilson.
I'll make the motion to approve Wilson to the regional representative post.
Have a second,
I'll second.
further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Opposed? So carried, thank you. I'll leave this here for you to, you'll have to come in and sign it off.
Okay. And Belinda issues that.
Well, it needs to be filled out, it needs to take an oath. She attests to it. It gets, sent over to the Lamoille Regional Solid Waste Management District, but it also gets reported in the town meeting book. So we know who's who. That's, I know,
You told me the agenda looked light this time.
but it's gonna be heavy next week.
Philadelphia next.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, no.
It is. So I had a couple additions to the agenda. One is, I wanted to let you know that I have found funding. A funding source for the parking lot. I met with the Vermont, it's with the Vermont DEC Brownfields Response Program. This application had to be in, so I sent it in before the board had an opportunity to approve sending it in, but I felt that we've had enough discussions about my looking for funding that it would be okay and you could approve it tonight. I met on Zoom today with the state and the engineer from CAS who's worked on all of this and went over particulars about it. So this is federal funds. Most federal funds are made available for housing projects, but there is some funding left for other things. They're going to present this tomorrow, this application to the group. And he's gonna let me know if the group is at all interested or is just gonna say no, because it's not housing. What else did he say? So we might not know if we do kind of get approved tomorrow, we really wouldn't know for at least 2 months about when the funding would be. I got the impression that the state was kind of in a little bit of administrative problems with the federal government and they were, because there were a lot of people in the queue waiting for funding and they were trying to work that out. It's kind of what I got. But we have umbrella, that's the insurance on this. The town has insurance on this site because it's hazardous, but so it's okay with that. If we have to wait a while, it's not cleaned up right away. The only thing is we can't disturb the site until it's cleaned up. I mean, plowing is fine. But then I got off the phone, that's for this application that I'm gonna ask for approval for tonight. And then Tori and I spoke. And Tori said, if this does not work out, she's trying to get, the wastewater people, Stone, to include it in their soil management plan, because they have to go over the site with their lines and try to get them to take the soil out during that time. So I have two sticks in the fire.
This is a meeting.
Yeah,
So she's trying to get she's trying to get the cleanup included in a wastewater,
so it's a soil management plan is needed for, the wastewater project. And she was hoping that she could convince Stone Environmental, who was our engineers, to include the cleanup or the removal of that soil, hazardous soil in that plan and be part of the wastewater.
So this funding is just for the cleanup, I think it was like
Yeah.
$20,000 cleanup or whatever it was.
30.
30. Just if your grant application doesn't work out and you're thinking about wastewater, I wonder if as a part of the bid package that hasn't gone out yet, and that is going to go out once the designs are final, if we offered that site up as a staging area and made the remediation of the site a condition of the cleanup, you know, for whoever the contractor is.
Well, I think that was part of the conversation. Yeah. We have to own it first, remember?
Yeah,
We don't own it. We won't know that till, well, at least have the ability to do that till town meeting, but yeah, that's another idea.
you know, because it's pretty standard to include a staging area and then, you know, return site back to whatever.
There might be more than one, to be honest, because they might need some spot to put some of the longer pipes and stuff, which, to be honest, if you're doing stuff down through here,
Mm-hmm.
one of those lots that over there, if you wanted to put long pipes and fittings and stuff, would be a spot.
I had always kind of envisioned the bus barn being what they picked, but anyway,
It'd be nice to have two sites.
I think they'll use them.
The thing is, even if we don't have it purchased, he could still go to, the oil company and say, look, if you let us in there,
Well, we still own one half of it.
yeah, I mean, even with the other half,
Mhm.
if they were to go to the oil company,
Yeah,
Coco or Champlain, whoever, and ask them, I think they would be in agreement because it'd make the land a little more valuable.
And it might theoretically mean that the wastewater project had to bear the expense. Because it would be a project cost.
Right.
It would give us a way to at least share some of that. Because even though
Some of the other areas they may find.
even though we didn't get the there was one funding pot wastewater didn't end up, but I don't know what it was, but we're still over funded by the pilot, if I remember right.
we didn't get the congressional spending from the federal government, you know, that legislators get. I mean, we got it approved and then it got pulled back.
Yeah. I still have fear about going by Wolcott store. In that area, because they've had a lot of spills. You could look at the old Lamarche area, is the down stream. They had a lot of leaks.
We're working on it,
You need a motion to approve the application.
yeah, for Vermont DEC Brownfield Response Program.
I will make your motion to approve applying for the DEC Brownfield Response Program funding.
In a second,
I'll second.
more Discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Did you vote on that or you don't?
Yeah, I did. That's a town thing. The other thing is I was asking, approval to apply for the Clean Water State Revolving Loan Fund. It's just to be on the project priority list that we do every year, just so that we can keep our
Spot on it.
funding, yeah, spot on the funding. No match, we're not gonna get any additional money, it's just, something we have to do, and it's due Thursday, Friday. So we just need something in the minutes of when the town approved submitting this application.
I'll make a motion that we submit the application for the Clean Water Revolving Fund.
For a second,
I'll second.
any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. The only other thing I wanted to quickly tell you that I spent 3 different days taking this Zoom webinar from the Vermont Community Housing Infrastructure Program, and I'm not recommending anything at this point. I just wanted to learn about it. When we get our wastewater finally completed. It's a way of, it's called the CHIP program. And it, it's kind of like the TIF. Are you familiar with that at all? I'll tell you honestly, I haven't figured it all out, but they had some pretty impressive projects like in St. Albans, and you kind of basically you borrow this money and you can lend it to private people for development, or the town can develop it. So say the Nazarene Church, you know, it just sits there and rots. A developer could come in and want to develop it into apartments, but say that, he doesn't really have enough funding, the town can borrow the money and lend it, and the loan gets paid back between the difference of the value now and the value when it's done. That additional tax money goes to pay down the loan. Or you can have the developer also pay for, at a lower rate, but,
Is that the program when you say St. Albans? Is that like what they did across from City Hall there, where they took those dilapidated buildings and turned them into that beautiful complex? Really? Oh, that's neat.
yeah. What I don't understand is how it helps your town if you have this building and you're paying taxes and then it has a new value and the taxes to pay the loan. Wouldn't the town want all the taxes? I just don't get that part. Yeah, but, like I said, I haven't got it wrapped around my head, but it's something that if you ever see out there and you can read up on it, maybe something for the future, maybe upgrading the Wolcott store, for heaven's sakes, you know, just a way, we've got to find ways to increase our tax base.
But it's essentially a public-private partnership where the town and developer
Yeah,
get together.
yeah.
Sounds like the state comes out making money.
No, they don't get any of it. They don't get any of it. It's a tool, to help, municipal infrastructure. it was actually created for housing, but it doesn't have to be. And the legislature introduced this program. It's good until 2035. It's an economic development tool.
The other option, it's kind of like if MSI wanted to do something better down in there, or they
Right.
wanted to, we could work with them too.
Right.
I remember when St. Albans started talking about doing going across from City Hall, and they reasoning that Manahan wanted to do that, the city manager at the time, he was interested in it because it was a way to make that parcel of land that had been dilapidated and had fallen apart more attractive to developers. It was a way to kind
Yeah.
of tip the scales on
Yeah, that's exactly right.
on the profit and loss for whoever was going to go in there.
Mhm.
I think that could be huge for Wolcott,
Right.
something like that.
It gives a developer the opportunity that they wouldn't normally
Yeah.
have the opportunity to do, they couldn't afford. Anyway, I'm not proposing anything, I'm just telling you about a new thing that's out there. I should have texted you.
Yeah.
About
He
what?
dropped out just around the time that we were done.
Is there anyone from the state you can get hold of?
I mean.
I have, the contact. Yeah,
Would it be worth getting someone from there to come in and talk to the board?
maybe ACCD.
I've been listening. I mean, there's a lot of work done to the old church, but it sits there much longer. It's gonna be like the old schoolhouse.
Right,
It'd be worth,
I will go on that website and see if there's any materials I can.
it'd be worth, maybe worth asking, if anything, maybe asking,
I can only do so much.
we could have, maybe asking MSI.
I need to get.
Red.
So,
I think MSI is gonna be, I'm really excited about. There's some family issues there right now with MSI.
anything else?
I did have one more note about the mowing contract. I hate to go that far back, but I ignored what I had written around. But anyway, it talks about burn removal and tree branches and things like that, and what comes to mind for me is the ball fields, in particular, being that they are floodplains. We think that it would be worth noting that the landscapers or the mowers wouldn't be responsible for flood cleanups. It's just typical spring cleanup. I don't know if that needs to be written or if that can just be clarified.
I didn't.
It could be any time of the year.
Yeah, I don't, I'm probably the only person that would think about it. And if I were somebody on there that, if I were going to bid on it and I had read that I needed to be responsible for tree and brush and limb removal and cleanup, and then recognize what the spillway and the North Local ball fields does, I would ask the question.
So I'm just saying that landscapers are responsible for post flood cleanup.
How many hundreds of yards of stumps and things did we chip in the North Local ball field? One contractor, don't go.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Those in favor?
Thank
Next week, we have our public hearing on our municipal plan, do we have it on our local hazard mitigation?
Okay. have a second, I can tell you what we've got so far.
And we need like a town meeting tune-up or whatever. I don't know, is Joe running as moderator? We need to like
I thought this was his last year.
get all the loose ends. Well, is he gonna do it this year or no? So we need one for next year?
Um,
We need to have a conversation with him. If he's gonna moderate at town meeting, I like having him come in and go over the particulars rather than asking us questions during the meeting.
so yeah, we've got the Wolcott Municipal Plan and Development Plan, public hearing at 6:05, and then Conrad is gonna work through the hazard mitigation plan. And then we've got a review of the at the ready contractors, and so you wanna put down town meeting tune-up or planning? We've got the moderator and, and the booths, things like that. But we have.
And will we have the, hopefully applicants, for select board?
Right,
To
okay.
review?
So you want, it's just a 10-day period window, or is it open longer? Is one a 10-day window?
You can leave it open more than 10 days if you want it.
Well,
You can leave it open more than 10 days if you want it.
Do it until the select board meeting.
February 18th or March 3rd, 4th?
Well, how does that,
10 days, because I'd have to get it posted tomorrow, which would be the 5th. Or 14th, no, February 18th, we get this time.
If you did it for March 4th, then you could at least tell everybody at town meeting. If they want to jump in by the next day, they could.
and we're gonna make an appointment anyway, but if we appoint, what are the mechanics of that? If we say we appointed someone on the 18th, we then have to do a write-in or a voice vote or something? So the appointment lasts from now, whenever the appointment happens, until town meeting 27. Okay,
There is no way that anyone can be on the ballot. It's too late. The
Yeah.
deadline is passed.
I
Yeah,
didn't know if there was a provision for.
no,
And would you, so you.
so the pros are there's a longer time for people to know there's a vacancy. The and then the negative is that, when we do the, town, set the town up, do our organizational meeting, they won't be part of that. And they don't really guess need to be a town meeting. Because they wouldn't know what we're presenting or answer questions.
I would thought there was always a write-in blank on the ballots.
What are you gonna write in, but my name?
No,
Good. There is no place to write in because there's no blank.
thought there was.
No, because Richard didn't resign until March 3rd. So there is no write-in unless you write in my space or Michael's space. And it still wouldn't fill Richard's position.
Oh, I see now, yep.
If you warn it now. Right away. Then you could have applications in by the 18th.
It's up to the board, either way, there's pros and cons either way. You'd like to have a wider array of. But I would like, if people are interested and you say it at town meeting, they've got that day to get it in to us for the next day.
But you still warn it now.
Yeah, I think you should put it on front porch forum, so it's not just posted in the office.
Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah,
on the website.
yeah, warn it now. I'm of the mind that we would make the appointment on the fourth.
Okay,
So we would
you
leave
comfortable with that?
the enrollment open. Not enrollment, but
Would you be in a position to swear that person in, then on the
It
fourth?
depends. I would want to, really go, I would want them to come in and I would want to interview. I do think that's only fair.
yeah,
I was just thinking of the organizational.
I would like to,
What happens on the fourth?
um.
So you
Yeah,
would
but
like
there-
every candidate to come in? Do you want me to set up every candidate? An interview like on March 4th? Or do we call a special? How does this work? This is new to me.
maybe the fourth doesn't work then. Maybe it has to be the 18th. Because the fourth is our organizational meeting where we fill in all the blanks.
Or we hold a special meeting where we interview them,
But even still, we'd have to close because town meeting is the third.
yeah.
To have a special meeting on town meeting day. Right. So it sounds like the only way that it works then is to close. To have whoever is interested be here by the 18th, make the interviews. Ouch.
Well, I like to know what, their experience, I don't wanna select someone just because. They're my friend or I know them, I wanna know what their agenda is, what they can contribute to the board for the year,
Yeah, but like I said, the logistics of it, it sounds like we need to close it on the 18th.
This is February 18th, correct?
Yeah,
So
so
I need to find somebody who's comfortable making motions to adjourn.
Speaking of that, I would like to,
Well, you've already adjourned.
yeah, we're not here anymore.
I'd like to do some special award for Richard at town meeting. Linda was gonna try to get a picture. But just,
It's, I don't know, it's weird, it's beautiful, but in the dedication for Cornelius, there's also below a photo of Cornelius sitting with Richard at a
yeah,
picnic.
Linda told me.
Yeah. So,
I was, while I was listening in, I had been thinking about other meetings that I've done work for professionally and how they generally have a speaker and a podium and we have these giant video screens with sometimes slideshows or videos and I thought, doesn't the school have a projector and a screen behind? And maybe we could start figuring out a way to get sort of some information up there that's sort of in the background. That doesn't need to be said, it's just there. And I was thinking about, during the downtimes, potentially having a looping slideshow of all of the people who serve the town currently. Maybe indicating how long they've been serving for, stuff like that, what roles. Just so people know how many people in this town actually serve in different roles. Because there's a lot when I start thinking about it.
currently or historically?
I was thinking currently, like who's currently serving? And for how long? And, I know that I work at the ski resort and I've been there 22 years. And every year we have our sort of preseason meeting and end of season meeting. And we recognize those years of service. And, we have a gentleman who's been an instructor up there for 55 years. Currently, and he's not even the longest tenured that there's ever been. So, I just think it's a really cool thing. I think a lot of people who are a part of it get to, like, I got a nice little banquet last year for my 20th year. Along with everybody at 5-year increments. And it's kind of a cool gesture to have that recognition. It's just something that popped into my head. It'll be a lot of work to throw together, right,
Mm,
between now and then, but if not this year, maybe next. So, so I'm curious about how tough it'd be to tap into that projector and screen. Or just bring my own, because I have my own. So, but it's a little tripod screen that would sit in the corner and nobody would see, but. Just an idea. I know everybody's really having a hard time leaving this early, so figured we'd keep talking.
I do have a question. So when we out, are you looking for a resume or what are you looking for?
no letter of interest,
Letter of interest.
maybe something that, just a letter of interest and
Just a who and a why, really. I mean, that's, when I filled Kurt's position, that's what I had, what you guys asked of me.
So you said it was a what?
A who and a why.
Who and why? Okay.
And maybe what experience you have, if you have it.
Relevant experience.
Yeah, who, why, and I think when did I zoom in or whatever I did, but I think the question you guys all asked me was, what do I bring to the table?
right.
Yeah.
That's, that's basically,
Dirty boots.
Honestly, so that. Predictable wardrobe, though, I'm like a cartoon character with my blue shirt.
This time of year, it's pretty common to see the little hair still with snow pants. All right, I'm gonna shut this down.
you know, I don't think a resume is necessary.
But
Why